Hey guys, TheRealImaginary here. Welcome back to part 2 of my story time where Shane and I almost died. If you did not get to see part 1, click on the little eye up in the corner to go to it, or I'll have an annotation somewhere on here if you're on PC to watch that. And don't worry, I will wait. Did you go? Are you back? Okay, let's do this. Just a little rundown if you already saw it and you aren't sure. Shane and I were stranded in the water in kayaks, and we started seeing headlights in the distance, and we got really excited because we thought we were close to Portlandia. But, well, here's the rest. And then we'd get up and get around the bend. It was just lightning bugs. Lightning bugs fucking with us the entire night. Sorry, I was gonna try not to swear, but this was a very traumatizing event. We're very devastated at the fact that we didn't see cars, but we could hear them. We could hear them in the distance, and we were like, please, save us. No, the frickin' creek would bend, and then we'd go away from the road, and we were just very sad people. I teared up at least 4 times. I was like, at least 4 times. There was one point where Shane was exhausted and exasperated and sat down in my kayak, and it's just like, he told me later he was on the verge of tears. He almost broke down too. We were both exhausted and cold, still having in mind Portlandia is close. We kept going, and we got to a part where it was a nice paddle, and we were like so relieved because that constant grinding, scraping was giving me anxiety. I've dealt with anxiety for a very long time, so that vibrating up through my body really just made me so anxious and sad. I just wanted to be home. And Shane looks over to the side and he's like, a hunting stand. I know that hunting stand. We're close to Portlandia. It's only like a mile away. Being the happy little kayakers we are, we keep going, and we of course have to drag a couple more times. Drag, holla! We get around a bend. No Portlandia. So we keep going. I'm like, Shane, what time is it now? He's like, it's 2 a.m. 10 hours! 10 hours of this! We've already been just dragging, and why? How? Why? We came to the conclusion that if we don't see Portlandia around this next bend, we're gonna have to ditch the kayaks. It's already 2 a.m. I started shivering, which is the onset of hypothermia, and Shane's cold, but he's been in the water so he can't tell. Portlandia wasn't around the bend. We're like, let's go till 2:30. Let's go a little bit further. Maybe it's up there. 2:30 rolls around. Like, we gotta get out. We can't keep doing this. This will kill us. We will not get out of here alive if we don't get out of the water. So we drag the kayaks up on the bank, and we know that that trail has to be close. Shane, being the physically fit human being he is, decides to scale up the bank to try to see how close the trail is. Thankfully, it was only 30 to 40 feet off of the creek, so it wasn't very far, but you had to climb a bank this steep to get to it. Not only was the bank like this, it was also completely made of gravel. So we get out of the water. I still have that swaying feeling from being in a kayak for 12 hours. Kinda nauseous, anxious, sad, hungry, upset, you know, just all of the emotions except, you know, the good ones. All we have is his watch light. He had a lighter, but it got wet, and then he lost it in the kayak, so we didn't have that. We couldn't even make a fire if we needed to, because, well, we had nothing. So he goes first. I'm holding onto his shirt. I take off my flip-flops because they're like a size too big, wet, and just very uncomfortable, and I can't get my footing to know where the hell I'm going. So I'm holding onto his shirt, and we have to go up over the initial bank, which is only about that much of a grade, which isn't that bad, and I was just like, tall grass. It was up to my knees at least, so we got through that, and then there was a little area of trees we had to kind of finagle up around and go between, because there was a grapevine that we almost got stuck in, and there was a couple jagger bushes, and then we get to the bank. Not the good bank, not the bank with the money, the gravel bank. the gravel bank. No one likes a gravel bank. Shane starts climbing. I couldn't hold on to him anymore because I needed to kick it into forepaw. The way it was, I would have my foot here. I would put my foot up here. Same foot. This is this foot up here. I would put my weight on it to go up. All of the gravel would sink down and I'd go about an inch. And that is how I had to get up this bank. I was clawing. I was digging my feet into this bank, trying to find a tree branch or something. I am a big girl. I don't have upper body strength. Look at this. I can't make myself climb a bank of gravel. Getting a little excited. He tries getting down below me and is trying to use his hands as a step to get me up a little bit further. And he's like, you need to go at an angle. I'm like, I'm trying, but I can't go anywhere. So I was trying because it was so steep to go to an angle going up it, but it was just so hard. He's trying to shove my ass up over this bank. He finally gets up in front of me and is trying to pull me up over. I have to stop in the middle of the bank to cry for a little bit. And then I'm like, okay, I have to do this. You would think at this moment my adrenaline would be like, hell yeah, let's get you up over this bank. But no, it was like, we're sad. We can't do it. We're gonna die. But no, we needed to get over this frickin' bank. Because I knew if I could get to the trail, that it is flat the entire way back to Portlandia, and then from Portlandia we can either knock on someone's door to call my mother to come pick us up, or keep walking on that trail to get here to peace to get home. Finally, I feel the trail. I'm just like, there it is. And Shane, one final huzzah, I get up on there and I just fall on my back and just stare up into the sky, panting heavily, and I'm just ready to be done and cry and sob and just be completely over this trip. I had put the life vest on to try to keep some heat in. It was one that I put my arms through and it's like a vest, and he had one that just goes around your neck. I was laying there, staring up, trying to catch my breath. We had taken the drinks. We had a bottle of Mountain Dew left and 2 bottles of water. So we needed to somehow mark where the kayaks were so we could get them the next day, because we can't abandon the kayaks there and there's no way in hell we'd be able to get to it from the water. So I take my flip-flop, I put it on my hand, and I draw a big S in the dirt on the trail, and then a J for his last initial. And then we left a bottle of water sitting there. We're like, I don't care if we're littering. We need to find these. We can get it tomorrow. At this point, it's 3 a.m. We started walking, thinking Portlandia's gotta be a mile, you know, maybe. If that, it's gotta be close, because we saw that hunting stand. We were in the water for 12 hours. We have to be close. We have to be. Pitch black. There are trees all up over us, and all you can see is a little narrow way of moonlight coming through, and it's dark. And of course, Shane goes, I smell musk. No, the last thing we need right now is a freaking bear attack. Maybe it's a skunk. Shane's like, I'd rather have a bear attack. I'm like, you can fix skunk spray. You can't fix a bear mauling. I'm very animated telling this story. Very traumatizing. So we're walking and we're walking and walking, and it's dark. And I feel like I'm going to just tumble off the edge, down that gravel bank, into the creek, and just die. Like, I would just die at that point. There's no way I'm gonna get back over the bank. My plan was to knock on someone's door and use a phone to call my mother and be like, please, I am sorry. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, but can you come get us? Because we've had a very terrible experience. We ended up walking for an hour. We get to Portlandia at 4 a.m. Shane's like, I don't really want to knock on someone's door and get a gun in my face. We know where we are now. We know it's a mile away from our house. We can continue walking on the trail. We do this walk all the time. But I'm tired. And I was in a swimming suit. So, this heavyset girl's got big thighs that were rubbing together, wet, for that entire hour. I had the worst chafe. I have ever had in my life. Because, of course, I just had on a swimming suit, so there was nothing to protect my thighs. I was sore. He had huge blisters on his feet. He wasn't wearing his flip-flops walking on this trail because they were rubbing too bad. I had to put my flip-flops on, so like if the band would come between my toe here, I put my foot through it sideways, so the toe thing here and then the bands came up over this way, because I couldn't. I still have the blisters on my feet. I had one right here, and then on this other foot, you can still see right there, they're probably gonna be scars. We decided, let's stay here in Portlandia for just a couple minutes, catch our breath, and hope and pray to God that a car goes by. So I'm sitting on the guardrail, just like, I hate everything. We both have on life vests, we're in swimming suits, we looked like this, for God's sake. Lo and behold, we hear in the distance a car. I look up the road, and there's a big hill that comes down around to come to the bridge that we were waiting at. And I see headlights. Headlights coming through the trees. And they round the bend. And I'm standing on the white line, waving my arms, smiling, my biggest smile I have, thinking, this is it. Someone, I just want to borrow your phone. I don't want to ride. I just want to borrow your phone to call my mother. Like, I don't want to ride from you. I'm waving. Like, hello. Oh, thank God you found us. And Shane's behind me like, yes, yes. The car turns off their high beams, comes up towards us. We're here. We're here. We're standing here waving. Hi, yeah, that's us. It gets up to us, slows down, speeds up and drives away. And I go, F you, asshole. I was pissed. I was so mad and so upset. Both of our hearts just like shattered into a million little pieces. We stood there in the silence, staring at the taillights going away in the distance like... we had nothing to say. We were so baffled. I get it. I get you don't want to pick up hitchhikers. But if you cross a bridge and you see two people standing in life vests, swimming suits, muddy as all get out, wouldn't you think, I just crossed a bridge, maybe, just maybe, there was some kind of issue in the water that these people in swimsuits and life vests need my help? You'd think I would have stopped. I don't care if I had been alone, I would have cracked my window a little bit and just seen what was up, because someone could have been dying. There could have been someone having a heart attack, there could have been someone who was drowning, something, anything. They should have stopped. Any normal human being in the world would have stopped and at least seen what was up, because I would have just been like, talking through the little crack in your window, can I borrow your phone to call my mom? Like, that's all I wanted. I wanted to call my mother. So, our little broken hearts decided to keep walking. We get 100 feet down the trail. What's that? Another car coming the direction that the other guy left. So I have wondered if that was him coming back because he felt bad. We turn around and watch as the car rounds the bend and goes across, because there's no way we would have been able to make it in time. Even if Shane would have sprinted, they would have just glanced in the rearview mirror to see busting out of the trees. You wouldn't want to stop to that. So sadly, we kept walking, and then we heard another car turn around and go. But I don't know if it was the same guy who went by, turned around, came back, didn't see us, turned around and went back through and left. But whatever, a third vehicle went through. Then I was like, you know what, Shane? Screw that guy. I hope that guy has explosive diarrhea, and I hope it's so bad he can't do anything for the next 48 hours. Like, know what? No. I want it to be 72 hours. As soon as it's so bad he decides to seek medical assistance, his doctor's office doesn't accept his insurance, and he has to pay a lot of money, and then his diarrhea stops. So he has to pay for that doctor's appointment that did absolutely nothing for him. 'Cause I hate him. So we're walking, and at this point, we were so slow. We were both limping. We looked so bad. You're not allowed on the trail after dusk, so we're just pitch black, 4:30 in the morning, walking like, ugh. We looked like zombies. I know we had to. Finally, at 5 a.m., we see the lights of peace in the distance, and we're like, it's there. And then it did that weird optical illusion thing where as you get closer, it feels like it's getting farther away, and you're just sad because you can't get home. Finally, God, finally, we get to peace and we get up to the main road. We can see our house across the street and we're like, we did it. We made it home. Across the street, and all the entire time I'm thinking, wouldn't it just be the icing on the cake to get hit by a car? We didn't. Our dog, Navi, is so happy that we're home. Like, Mom and Dad, I've missed you. You've been gone for 14 hours. We are such a mess. We take these 2 pictures and then we shower and decide that we need to go get his truck because both of our phones in there. I am not going to work today. This was Friday the 15th. I am not going to work. I can't do it. I am so sore and cut up and almost died that I do not want to go to work, so I needed my phone to call off. So we got in my car and we went and got his truck in Freckles. And when we got home, we got something to eat at a gas station because we were starving. And by the time we laid down in bed to finally sleep, it was 6 a.m. 14 hours from starting at 4 p.m. till 6 a.m. We went 14 hours to try to go 15 miles away from home. Hands down, the worst experience of my life. Moral of the story, don't take life for granted. You never know what could happen, that you could die. Like, that was such a scary experience. I am very grateful to have a fit husband like I do, that I would not, if it had been me and Shannon, we wouldn't be here. There's no way I wouldn't have been able to get her over that bank. She wouldn't have been able to get me over that bank. I don't think I can ever go kayaking again. If I do, it's gonna be at least a year. I am traumatized from that event. It was terrible, but we learned a lot of valuable life lessons that will stick with us forever. Before I go, I gotta tell you about getting the kayaks the next day. We needed to get on the trail to go get the kayaks. And we were going to use my dad's 4-wheeler, but we needed to get permission because they have a gate up. There is a whole organization and community for this trail, and there's a website and all that. So I got on the website and I called. I tell her that we got stranded on the creek, had to abandon our kayaks and walk back. We needed to go get them and asked if we could use a 4-wheeler. She said that she would prefer us using a truck over a 4-wheeler because the tires on a 4-wheeler really dig up the trail, and we're like, that's fine, that would work even better. We just weren't sure which you would prefer. So we met them, and like, we think it's a mile. Like, we don't know for sure because it was so dark. We walked for so long. We don't know exactly how far we went, but we thought it was a mile. So we're going and going and going. And finally, I'm like, there's the kayak, 2 miles. We walked 2 miles from where we ditched the kayaks to Portlandia and then another mile home. So we walked 3 miles in wet swimming suits, dirty, sad, scared, and hungry. The lady and her husband are like, so you walked back? Yeah, at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then told them just a little bit, but they didn't need to know the whole story, that we were stupid. And then they told us about a website that you can go on and see the water levels, and if the water's ever as low as that, whatever it was that day, never to go. Like, that would have been helpful to know yesterday. But we got the kayaks. Shane had to go down over the bank. There's no way in hell I was going down there because I would have died. He went down and tied the kayaks to a rope, and I pulled as much as I could, and he pushed them up over, and we did bring the kayaks up, put them in his truck, and then they took us out of there. Well, guys, that's it for Shane and I almost dying. We had mild hypothermia, and I had the worst chafe of my life. We both had so many cuts and scratches and bruises on us. We were a mess. I broke like all of my fingernails. I broke a toenail. My foot was bleeding. It was so bad. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wish I had more story times for you to do because I enjoy doing them. I like telling stories, but I don't have a very interesting life, so I can't do very many story times because I don't have a lot to tell you. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy my story times, and a thumbs up for the fact that I lived through it. Subscribe and become one of my imaginary friends if you haven't already. And comment down below, have you ever been completely traumatized from kayaking or any kind of nature activity? This is why I stay inside. I'll see you guys in my next video. I hope you like this, and I hope it wasn't too long and boring and that I kept it kind of interesting. I love you, have a great week, I will see you next time. Bye! RoboCop! Hey guys, Real Imaginary here. I can't believe I'm here doing this again. How is it the end of July already? But if you can read, you guessed it, we're opening July's Loot Crate.